And in home news, the Community Mediation Centre has attended to 165 disputes so far this year. But a real concern involves parties who are unwilling to sit down and talk. So authorities are considering mandatory mediation for such cases, though it could be difficult to enforce.
Corridor obstruction, noise or high-rise littering. The majority of community disputes are between HDB dwellers.
I'm in Yew Tee in the northwest of Singapore and one of the country's largest towns. With more than 82,000 residents, this town has seen its fair share of community disputes, more than 20 in the last 2 years.
Most of them were settled after grassroots leaders stepped in. In one case, neighbours fought over the placement of potted plants along their corridor.
We found out that they lived together for 13 years, but yet didn't know each other's names. And so we started afresh to say, okay, Mr. Chen, this is Mr. Lim, this is Mr. Chen, your neighbours. And I think we managed to resolve that quite simply.
Tougher cases are referred to the Community Mediation Centre, which has a pool of trained volunteer mediators. But some disputes languish.
Mediation is voluntary, so as long as one party doesn't want to come to the table, we're stuck.
One advantage where we make it mandatory for attendance is that then the other party have to come in, because we cannot mediate with just one party. The one who complain will come anyway. The one being complained, the respondent may not come.
Experts say enforcing mandatory mediation will be tricky, as the threat of punishment can worsen a conflict. Some suggest soft sanctions.
This may take the form of any sort of sanctions and punishments within the community, having to volunteer your time, having to serve the community in meaningful ways to reflect the community's acceptance or non-acceptance of your behavior in not complying with and in not attending the mediation. But we have to be creative.
Mediated disputes have a good chance of resolution. 70% of those that go through the Community Mediation Centre are settled.